So, welcome to Halloween week. We get to have a little bit of fun here at Keystone this week. This is when we pull out some of the horror stories, dig up some of the things you don't want to talk about, maybe shake a couple of bones and see where some things are buried. But where it comes down to the horrors behind real estate, it's a reality that it's not so easy out there. And I don't just mean the sales aspect of it, that's scary enough, but all of the other things that we deal with on the real estate side. So, sit down, get yourself a nice hot cup of cocoa or witch's brew or whatever's on the mind this morning, and let's have some fun and tell some horror stories. So, first off, let's talk about whether being a real estate agent in 2024 is even worth it. If we're going to talk about some of the latest statistics from the NAR, most home buyers use real estate agents or brokers to purchase homes. As a result, I will tell you there is plenty of work out there for agents to partake in. Are you thinking about diving into the world of real estate? Are you reconsidering whether or not you should stay in it? Let's talk about it. But before you leap as a new agent, you really do need to arm yourself with what is today's insights, accounting for the pros and cons of being a real estate agent while being a licensed agent. You can deal with excitement, you can deal with reward, new career choice, but it comes with the challenges. It is truly a sales industry. If you understand the dichotomy between a real estate pro and a real estate con, it'll be less critique and more just critical decision of whether or not to continue to do this or whether or not to actually get into the industry itself. For those of you that watch me that is brand new or thinking about becoming real estate, a lot of this show is for you today. For my seasoned veterans, my old cronies, we got a special segment for you as well. So stick around. Let's make this comprehensive. I want to explore real estate agent pros and cons. By the end of this discussion today, you should have a clearer understanding of the challenges and the rewards that come with this profession, empowering you, hopefully, to make good decisions of whether you start fresh in the real estate career, make a career change or shift, or whether or not you've been in this for a while and with the challenges of our current environment in the industry, do I want to stick around and pay another 6 month worth of fees and dues and licensing and everything else I need to stay in the business? So let's explore everything there is to know about this field of study that we call real estate. Real estate agent is a licensed professional. They act as an intermediary between real estate transactions and representing a buyer and or a seller. Whether they're working independently or whether they're working as a team with licensed agents, they all work under the umbrella and the protections of a broker. I'll tell you that I thoroughly believe that real estate agents play a pivotal role in connecting buyers and sellers and guiding them through the intricacies. If you've seen any of my other conversations, property transactions are a relationship, and it's important to be able to guide your friends and your family and your business associates and colleagues through a mire and a swamp of very difficult steps and stages to get them through to a safe goal that they have set for themselves at the end. Ultimately, closing the deal. To become a very best real estate agent, there are specific requirements that are going to depend on a state by state, but generally, individuals have to take a state mandated pre-licensing course at some type of real estate school. They got to pass that, and then they have to actually take the state real estate exam. However, achieving true success in the real estate industry requires a hell of a lot more than meeting those basic requirements. It's not a license to print money. It's more of a guideline to how you protect the state and how you minimize the liabilities you will have by saying and doing the wrong things as an agent. The horrors behind what I have seen in real estate is typically behind people talking about things they don't understand or running at the mouth because they're conversationalists and not having intelligent, directional conversations that make sense towards the goal. A successful agent has got to stay absolutely current with the industry trends and the regulations surrounding it. Often they have to pursue continuing education to maintain active licenses. Additionally, you've got to obtain specialized certifications so that you can support certain niches and enhance your expertise in particular areas, such dealing with condominiums or commercial properties or even luxury properties requires some additional levels of behind the scenes ed to make sure you know what you're talking about and can do more than just pitch a sales deck. Real estate agents handle a lot of legal tasks as well, assessments, the buying and the selling aspects, the conducting of real estate analyses, running advertising campaigns without falsifications, scheduling showings, answering inquiries, building a solid network of potential clients. Work extends beyond just being a transaction facilitator. You're going to be a counselor. You're going to be an educator, an appraiser, a negotiator. You're going to ensure that your clients are guided through the buying and the selling process. And now that you know what a real estate agent really is, let's talk about the pros and the cons of why you would want to continue to do this. Only then are you really going to know if this is worth it. The simple answer, in my opinion, is yes, absolutely. Becoming a real estate agent can open the door to personal and professional opportunities beyond anything that you have dealt with in other jobs in other industries. But like any other career path, there are advantages as well as challenging aspects of what's going to make you the very best of the best. So when we talk about the pros and the cons, I want you to understand the realities behind each. So let's dive in. Number one, the pros that we are taught of being a real estate agent. Flexibility of schedule. One of the most coveted perks of being in real estate is the unparalleled flexibility in managing a daily schedule. You get to be your own boss, so to speak. You can structure your workday according to your personal life and your priorities. You can eliminate all of the constraints that you thought you had in a 9 to 5 job. And ultimately, kind of working in a part time scenario. This level of autonomy is going to allow you to strike some harmonious work life balance, a zen, if you will, ensuring lots of time for family and the friends and the personal pursuits, all while excelling in a real estate career. Working for yourself. One of the most exciting advantages of becoming a real estate agent is going to be the opportunity to work for yourself and to embrace that spirit of entrepreneurship. As a real estate agent, you can build a business plan, you can brand yourself, you give yourself the power and the shape of a professional destiny. You might even work under a full licensed brokerage, not only selling legally real estate, but running the show, building a team, building a business within that business, all without having to worry about the full extent of having to own a business and own the real estate behind that business and excelling as a corporation. Income potential. One of the most alluring aspects of pursuing real estate is that potential for significant income. Unlike traditional salaried positions, real estate agents do not have an income cap. This allows them to earn more based on their business and the acumen, dedication, the ability to close deals successfully. If I was to look up real estate agent in ZipRecruiter or Glassdoor or something like that, the average salary of a real estate agent across the country is about $86,000 a year net. Commission-based structure, real estate agents typically receive a percentage of property sales price. That's how we get paid. It can range anywhere from zero, quite honestly, to upwards of 3 and sometimes even 4%. Considerably higher than that if you end up in the commercial side of the real estate industry. This means essentially the harder you work, The more value you build, the more people are willing to pay more for your services. You're going to be able to close more deals, ultimately building those financial rewards and closing on what will be a very lucrative personalized business. Business growth. Becoming a real estate agent will offer you a unique avenue for personal and professional growth. It allows individuals to build and expand a business within a dynamic real estate industry model. As an agent, you're going to be able to nurture a brand. You're going to be able to develop strong networking and client skills with industry professionals and leaders. You'll learn how to run a reputation business. Each successful transaction adds to financial goals, but also contributes to a growth of repeat business and referable business. Something like this will enhance a personal credibility as well as make you a trusted advisor in a field. And then 5, the ability to help a client. There's a lot of warmth and personal appreciation for being able to help people do things that they couldn't do themselves, and ultimately reaching a goal and a dream that most of us have been indoctrinated to since we were children. It's the most gratifying and fulfilling portion of the career field. You can positively impact clients' lives. You can assist them in finding their dream homes and discovering where they want to live and grow as an individual, or potentially a group of individuals, or even develop a family. Guiding people through very complex processes like this simultaneously provides a livable salary, but also fosters a genuine connection with clients. You will witness the joy and the satisfaction of their faces as they move into their dream homes, and that warmth is immeasurable. But let's talk about the reality and the horrors behind the licensing aspect and the actual doing the job. Extended work hours. One of the biggest drawbacks in pursuing a career as a real estate agent is the potential for lengthy, unpredictable, ridiculous work hours. Despite that freedom of being essentially your own boss, real estate agents always find themselves dedicating extensive time and efforts to meet their clients' needs and demands when their client is available to do these things, not when you as a person are available. Property transactions, once you actually get to that point, they're time sensitive. They require agents to be available evenings, weekends, holidays, and must be fully accommodating to a client's schedule and preferences. This is a service industry. Literally, you are waiting tables, and when they are ready to order, you better be there to take down your notes and get ready to prepare the next section of this transaction. Number 2, patience before success. While real estate offers a potential for substantial salaries and a very comfortable salary in any industry, getting to that point demands relentless dedication and hard work. You are literally thrown into the choppy end of the water at the beach and expected to be able to figure out how to swim out into the ocean with all of the sharks so that you can actually become successful in the industry. If the chop and the waves and the change in the tide can take you out in the first several years, it will to 80%. 80% of people that newly licensed in the industry are out of the industry within the first 3 years. That other 20% of us that move on, half of that is exposed and cut out within a 5-year period. Competitive job market. The real estate landscape is filled with seasoned professionals. Filled. In Florida, where I live and work, I cannot hit a golf ball on a putt-putt course without hitting a real estate agent. The newcomers that are constantly seeking to establish their presence make it even more challenging. And I would say even a cutthroat arena that you have to learn how to thrive in. Aspiring agents have got to be able to differentiate themselves, showcase their expertise, and constantly adapt to an evolving housing market trend. And then, above all else, stand out amidst all of this competition and be able to do things like this to make sure that you are seen when you're not directly seen in public. Irregular income. Unlike a traditional salary position where a regular paycheck is guaranteed or a split check is guaranteed if you're in the commission business or sales business, real estate agents' earnings depends on successful transactions and the commissions acquired from those. We can have 50 plus clients on the hook. We have to close deals to get paid. And we had to have negotiated what we expect to get paid way in advance, sometimes killing the deal because we refuse to work for less than what we're worth. Consequently, agents have to be very adept at their financial planning and budgeting. They have to ensure they always have a safety net to sustain themselves. The eating, drinking, going out, networking that keeps the industry afloat, you still have to make enough to pay your bills. And on top of that, you have to make enough to stay in the industry and reinvest in the marketing that is required for you to be out front and present with clients. You got to be able to protect yourself during leaner times when either you don't have enough inventory, not the right inventory, or not enough clients to actually show properties to for whatever reason, higher interest rates. Number 5. The biggest nightmare behind what we do, and I love you, clients, I really do. You are so demanding. Career as a real estate agent is honorably fulfilling. It's probably one of the most exciting industries that I have ever had the pleasure of being in. But the drawbacks that an agent will encounter is the challenging of dealing with demanding clients and worse, their completely unrealistic expectations. Most clients will not be easy to work with. Some will actually be so demanding and so challenging throughout the transaction process that you're willing to fire your client as opposed to finishing the deal. A real estate agent must be prepared to navigate various personality types, communication styles, understanding that clients may have higher expectations than normal, and you have to be able to build a finalization plan around specific requirements that may or may not even be possible in the area or with the people that you're doing business with. If I got to give you some expert tips for being a real estate agent as you're walking down the road of success and you've got a few years under your belt, you passed that first 3-year period, or even better, that 5-year period, and it's just that 20% of the hardcore agents that are out there with you. Maybe some of this advice will empower you to be stronger in foundation and continue to thrive. While you're in the industry from day one, please create a strong network. A strong network will significantly elevate any real estate agent's performance by fostering some meaningful professional connections, potential clients, industry experts, other real estate agents. You will gain access to a vast pool of resources and opportunities, give you the ability with that network to provide you with valuable referrals, incredible insights, and vision into local markets, understanding as to what are your clients thinking so that you can kind of get into the psychology behind how they are, and why they think the way they think. As agents will expand their network and enhance that visibility, their credibility and their ability to deliver tailored solutions will be their reputation. Ultimately, positioning them as a trusted advisor and allow them to be truly competitive in the real estate landscape. Improve your time management skills. Day one, you need to learn orchestration. This is a fast paced, demanding industry, and effective time management is going to allow you to prioritize your tasks, schedule open houses, meet your deadlines, efficiently handle multiple client interactions at the same time, and ultimately challenge yourself to how many listings and how many clients can I actively balance and still give them all the love and appreciation and attention that they demand from me and that they deserve. Real estate agents can allocate a lot more time to prospecting and nurturing those client relationships and staying updated with market trends when they're really good about optimizing flexible hours throughout their business day. Ultimately, if your clients are busy doing their day jobs from 8 till 10 o'clock in the morning and don't have time to talk to you, that's when you need to be on the phones or beating the street or doing your marketing or building your advertising while you're not interrupted by your client base. And you have to be smart enough to know how to orchestrate that. Open a savings account, or if better, an investment account. Real estate agents need to develop a crucial skill of knowing how to save money and navigate commissions. It is inherently inconsistent and completely unpredictable, and deals fall through and new deals show up, but the timeline between start to finish, the contact to contract to close that I consistently preach in all of our sessions, that's what's going to give you your earnings. But that earnings fluctuation has to have a financial safety net during those from prosperous periods to the enablement to weather those leaner times confidently. If you can adopt a prudent financial habit, plan well for contingencies, you as a real estate agent will mitigate financial stress. You'll be able to focus on providing top notch service to clients without worrying about whether or not I have to close this deal and I'm willing to take a loss in renegotiating this deal to just make sure I can pay my bills this month. If you got into real estate so that you could use your commissions or use your personal savings to help other people buy real estate, you were in the wrong industry. There's some great alternatives for you out there if real estate is not for you after you put all of that stuff together. You could always be an appraiser, a home stager, leasing consultant, a property inspector, a property manager, a real estate attorney, potentially move on to be a real estate developer, real estate investor, or you could just be the realtor that you plan to be and ultimately build yourself into a real estate broker, ultimately being a brokerage owner and truly build a corporation around a vision and a dream of what you want to do to be financially independent. The decision to work in real estate is not something that you need to take lightly every day. You need to understand the pros and the cons of why you're in this industry. You're here talking to me as a consultant because you want to be able to be a vital solution in making informed decisions. And on the positive side, enjoy the freedom of being your own boss, setting that flexible schedule for yourself and experiencing some of that unlimited potential. But you need to invest your time and your effort and realize that success while navigating a competitive landscape means you need to know how to cope with irregular income. Nonetheless, every single challenge is an opportunity for growth, and I don't want you to forget how gratifying it can be going through that adventure. Now, no campfire ghost story would be successful without the heebie jeebies and a little bit of skin crawling. So I took the time this week to call some of my old battle mates and find out some of the cool stories that we could talk about together that really makes real estate interesting. The hauntings behind what keeps us up at night. So gather round, young agents. as I regale you with real estate horror nightmares that are going to make you break out into a cold sweat. And not just about lock boxes. Oh no. This is about sitting around the campfire or the bar as we pass along cautionary tales of lessons learned. This first one's called No Free Lunch. It is completely normal for sellers to be protective of their stuff inside the house. For example, they might ask potential buyers to wear booties and please don't track mud across my expensive rugs. And one seller might just be protective of the rugs, but might even want to lock the fridge. This story is even more horrific because she wasn't accusing buyers of stealing food. It was the agents. She canceled her listing contract in a huff and demanded a gift card to a local grocery store as a payback for the stolen food. While we're on the agent side here, who can forget that guy that drank right from the seller's milk carton, right? Everybody learns that story in real estate school. But I'm here to tell you, you can be the best agent in the world and still be fired for doing something that is completely out of your control. But if you were thinking of stealing food from a client's fridge, do not. By the way, if you ever get fired from an agent, it is okay. Keep your head and try understanding that what you did to generate that lead worked. You ended up with a client, but just be a little more open to a learning opportunity. Number 2, fire sale. I bet this one's a familiar story to most of you. Agent takes a cold call, agrees to list a couple's condo. Might have been a couple of red flags here, but only in retrospect, right? The condo had been completely renovated after a massive fire, and while it was beautiful, it was by far the nicest property in the building. Every comp is at least $50,000 lower than what the couple wants for their condo. As an agent, you want to explain that comps are careful and they're predicted, and most accurate market price would probably maybe get you 10, 15,000 over the standard comp because of all of the recent renovations. Couple refuses to listen. Listing sat on the market, finally expired. While the agent lost the sale, he got to sleep well that night, knowing that when the fire damaged, remodeled condo finally did sell, it was ultimately at the price that they had predicted all along. Don't forget to go back and check our step-by-step guides on creating a listing presentation, why it is important to be accurate, data-driven, especially in a CMA. But remember, even when you do it perfectly, not every client is going to listen to you. Fruit falling from the tree. Every so often, a client is going to show up with their kids. Usually the kids are well behaved. Typically they're glued to some kind of device, in all honesty, but we all have those real estate horror stories of a kid jumping into a pool or scratching something or knocking something off of a table that they shouldn't have because they get up to some mischief. As the agent, your clients and your clients' kids arrive at this luxury property. The mom points out a beautiful lime tree in the backyard. As we were leaving, the kids show up at the car having picked almost every single lime off of that tree. Talk about having to figure out how to make limeade out of limes. They ended up having to write a check for at store prices in this economy for every single lime that those kids stole. So just keep saying to yourself, The lime doesn't fall far from the tree. This one I like to call Don't Worry, Dear. One of my favorite stories, one that I keep close and dear to my heart, but definitely a close call. Arrived at a listing and accidentally walked in on the seller taking a bath. She was an older lady, barely glances up from the water, saying, "Don't worry, dear, it's just body parts," and keeps washing away. I realize it sounds like the homeowner kept her sense of humor throughout all this and her dignity and what could have been traumatizing for both the agent and for the seller. But ultimately, take a breath. Don't take anything too seriously in this business. And don't forget to knock first, even if the door is open. The horrors of a locksmith. Most of us have dealt with a broken lock or I can't get this damn lockbox to open kind of story in real estate, or at least thought the lockbox or thought of the lockbox not opening while the clients are standing right behind us breaks us out into a cold sweat. That alone is like getting scared by one of the greats. One agent, bad lockbox, struck him twice on the same day. Had two separate condos, same community, offered to show a group of people both properties. Despite his best effort, frantic calls to the owner and, of course, to the listing agent, first lockbox would not open with a code. After a lengthy period of frustration and embarrassment, he finally gives up, led to buyers straight to the second condo, not willing to deal with that anymore. The lock on this one was also not working. So one can imagine the potential buyers now eyeing each other, kind of shuffling their feet, wondering the competency of the agent, considering they can't get a lockbox open. So the agent never ends up forgetting that day because they call the locksmith and for $325 ripped that lock open and made sure he could get his second showing. But he had to replace all of those lock boxes and the door that they had to ultimately drill out to get into the property that day. Lesson learned from a tech guy standpoint, I got to tell you, until robots and artificial intelligence solve this problem for us, a lockbox mishap is going to happen to all of you at some point. Keep your sense of humor. Do not quit trying. And yeah, have that available locksmith with you in your phone if necessary. Don't you hate it when a seller hangs around during an open house or showing, shuffling right behind you, eavesdropping, interjecting an opinion here or there? But for one agent, the seller took it even a step further. She stayed in the house for the showings, but hid under the covers of her bed. Not subtle, very strange. When confronted by the listing agent, she still denied it, talking about a real estate horror story. The agent who ends up selling that house while the owner was hiding under the sheets um, should probably get extra martinis paid for the amount of stress that they had to deal with during probably one of the largest showing opportunities that they had. They should probably get a gin martini and a TED talk out of the deal, maybe even a book deal. But we've got a lot to learn from how that agent mastered patience and tolerance. There are a lot of real estate horror stories out there. There are a lot of difficult clients, a lot of time wasters, generally jerks, people who do not understand how money works or how punctuality is important, the people whose kids pick all the limes, but us as agents, we try to help them no matter what. Just like doctors with their Hippocratic oath, most real estate agents feel a call to serve. Clients deal with some of the largest financial decisions and most stressful moments of their lives, and real estate agents are here for them. There are a lot of real estate stories out there where things have been stopped. There have been a death. There have been an elderly person that needed help cleaning out a home, or a young couple that needed to have the baby looked after while they look at a house. There are many horror stories out there, but most of the time, I'll tell you, our life as a real estate agent is pretty normal. We get to carry on daily. We get to help people buy and sell homes and achieve ultimately their real estate dream. But then, one day, when we least expect it, we accidentally walk in on that senior citizen taking a bath. Tons and tons of stories are out there. I have zero regrets about getting into the real estate industry and the amount of satisfied clients that I have built over the years, and my share of dumpster fire horror stories too. Worth every minute of it. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep doing a great job, and looking forward to competing you out there with everybody else. Have a great day, everybody. Recording is stop. Yeah. Yeah, it was not an attractive